Davinci Resolve is a super powerful video editor for Mac and PC. So to help you get started, this video is a complete tutorial for beginners using the latest version, Davinci Resolve 17, with everything that you need to know, all the key features, and a ton of video editing tips to get you cutting like a pro fast in Davinci Resolve. Hey, it's Justin Brown here from Primal Video, where we help you grow an audience and scale your revenue with online video. If you're seeing value in this video, make sure you're giving it a thumbs up. It really makes a huge difference. And all the links to everything I mentioned in this video, you can find linked in the description box below. Let's jump into it. Now, I mentioned this on our last Resolve tutorial, but this is consistently one of our most requested videos. Davinci Resolve has taken the top spot in several categories of our best video editing software reviews on both Mac and PC. And if you're interested in checking out our latest roundup of those videos, I've included those links in the description. But in this video though, I'm gonna fast track your editing with Resolve. Whether you're brand new to it, or whether you've been using Resolve for a while, I'll be giving you a full tutorial for beginners with everything you need to know, all the key features to be aware of, plus a ton of tips to help you maximize your efficiency along the way. Now, I'm going to be taking you through this editing walkthrough using our Primal video method process, the most efficient way to help you edit your videos down with minimal wasted time and rework. Now, make sure that you're grabbing your free copy of this process that you can download and print out and use in all of your future edits. Okay, so we're over here now in Davinci Resolve. Now I am showing you this on a Mac, but the process is going to be exactly the same on PC as well. So the first thing we want to do is to create a new project. So we're coming down here to new project. You want to give your project a name. Let's call this one JB Edit. And we'll go create. So once you've created your project, the first thing I like to do is just to make sure all the settings are good to go. So you want to come down to here to this settings button. And then in here, you're going to set your video resolution or your timeline resolution. So if you're going to be creating a 1080p HD video, then you want to select here 1920 by 1080 or any of the other video resolutions that you're going to use. So if you want 4K, that's in here, or 720p. For this one, we're going to leave it here at 1920 by 1080. You then want to set your frame rate for your video. So in here, you're going to be choosing something like 24, 25, or 30, depending on the footage it is that you're editing. So the footage I've got is 25 frames per second, so I'm going to select that. I'll also want to make sure that whatever number I've got in here, that I have the playback frame rate set to be the same as well. So I've got 25 in both in this case. And then as you can see, there is a ton of settings in here, and we are definitely not going to go through them all. But what you can do in here is save out some presets. So if you've got a specific timeline setup that you like to use for a lot of your videos, so like here 1920 by 1080 at 25 frames per second, I could come over here to presets and save that as a preset. So I'm going to come down here and go save as, and I'm going to call this 1080p 25 for 25 frames per second and go OK. And then next time when we want to create a video with those same settings, we just need to come over here to presets and just hit load and we're good to go. Okay, so with that applied, I'm going to cancel out of this now to get back to the main interface. So Davinci Resolve is split up into these different tabs or different workspaces along the bottom. Starting first off with media, which is where you can import all your footage and manage all the media that you're going to be using in your video. The cut tab is where you can do some basic edits and cut down your footage. Edit is where the main editing happens. This is where you're going to build out your story or your video, and this is probably where you'll be spending most of your time. Fusion is a super powerful motion graphics and animation area. Think of this like Adobe After Effects that's built inside of Resolve here. Color is the grading area or the color correction area. This is where you can tweak and adjust and really dial in all the specific colors and everything, or the look and feel of your videos in this section. Fairlight is where you get access to all your pro level audio tools and audio control. And the last one here, deliver, this is where you come to save out or to deliver your final video or the different versions you want to save out of your video. Now again, this is a beginner tutorial. We're not going to dive into things like Fairlight or Fusion or too detail on the color side of things, but we are going to show you the fundamentals to get up and running and editing inside of Resolve. So first off, we're going to come over here to media and we're going to import our video files and video assets that we want to use in our video. So we can just right click down the bottom here and we can choose import media. We can go through then and find the video and audio files we want to bring in. So I've got a folder here, video files. We can select the individual video files in here. We can hold down Control or Command to select multiples. We hit open, they're going to be imported. Now, if you do have a folder like I have here with everything in it, then I can actually hit cancel and I can drag and drop that file in. So if I come over here, grab my file from my other screen and drop it in here, then that's going to bring in all the footage and all the audio and everything that is in that folder all in one go. So now that we've got our assets in, we can then move across to the next workspace. And you'd normally be moving here from from left to right throughout these different workspaces. Now this cut area is where we can start to cut down or trim down some of our video clips, just to select the area of the clips that we want to use in our finished video. So I find this cut area is helpful if you've got to trim down a lot of clips. But I also find it's just as easy to jump straight into the edit tab, where we can actually start to build out our video at the same time. So as I said earlier, over here on this edit tab is where you're going to be spending most of your time. This is where the editing really takes place. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to grab our primary camera footage here, camera 1, and I'm going to drag this down onto our timeline. So this is the representation, or this is our video clip. So interface wise, we've got all our clips and everything that we imported up here in this media area. We've got a preview window here where we can preview our video clips. This one over here is our playback window. This is where when we hit play on our video, that's going to play back here, so where we can view our editing masterpiece. We've got playback controls here to control the playback of our timeline or our preview clip here. We can zoom in and out on our editing timeline here using the slider here, or the little arrows. So we can zoom out, zoom back in. We can use this button here to dive into the area that we have our playback head at. So if we want to zoom into this area here, then we would press on this one. That's going to take us in to a more detailed view. And likewise, the one next to it will zoom back out so that we're able to see our entire edit. So the first step is to bring in all of your primary footage, the main content of your video. So you can see we've got camera 1 here. This is everything that I'm going to include in that video. Now for me, this is all in one clip. For you, it might be in several clips. So you just want to select those and drag them down onto your timeline. Now, just before we get into the actual video editing, you can actually change up the layout or how your timeline looks. If we come over here to this area here and click on this button, then we get to choose some different view options. So for example, if we want to hide our audio waveforms, that will turn them on or off. Now for me personally, I like to have them on, especially for a video like this. I can see all the quiet bits, or the bits with no audio. That's going to tell me that I need to remove that section. So I like to have those on. We can also change up the actual view. So you can see that we're on the left one here at the moment. We can move to the middle one where we're only getting one thumbnail image, one image preview of our clip only at the start. And this end one here is to remove them all together. So I like to leave it on this one here. And then in terms of the audio options, obviously you saw up here, we could turn it on and off. We actually get to choose what this looks like as well. So again, this is personal preference. I like to have the full waveform just so it's bigger, but then we can also come down here and we can adjust the video and audio track heights. So if we want to make the audio bigger and take up more of our screen area, then we can drag this slider down to make it bigger. Likewise with the video, we can make that area bigger and smaller as well. So let's just leave it around there somewhere. Okay, so we've got our primary camera footage in here now. The next step is to start to trim it down, to remove any of the bad takes, any mistakes, or any footage you actually don't want to have in your finished video. So you can see here, looking at the audio waveforms, I actually don't start talking till about here, which means that the video is likely going to start around here. So all of this stuff at the start, where I'm checking the microphone, making sure everything's all good, obviously we can remove this. Now, as with everything video editing, there's lots of different ways to essentially do the same thing. So I'm going to show you a few different ways that you can start to edit your footage down so that you've got a full grasp on the tools that are available to you, because sometimes it will make more sense to use one method over others. So the first way then is to grab this playback indicator, or this playback head, and position it where you want to add a cut. So let's say that we want to add a cut in our timeline here to remove this first piece. We can then press Command B or Control B on the keyboard, and that is going to blade or cut our clip at this point. So you can see we now have a left clip and a right clip. So to remove this, we can just press delete and that clip is gone. We are still left with a gap here as well. To remove the gap, we can select it, press delete, and that will close up the gap. Now, if I undo this using Control Z or Command Z, the other way that we could do is remove this clip and close the gap by selecting this clip and pressing Shift Delete, and is going to remove the clip and close the gap all in one go. So that's one way. Now, if I undo this, let's go back to before I've even cut it. So we've just got one clip here. Another way that we could remove the start of this clip is if we move our mouse cursor to the start of this clip, you see that it changes to trim mode. So if we click and drag here, we're able to drag that start of that clip back to where we want it to remove to. So just before I start to talk here. So if I let my mouse go now, then we have now trimmed our clip back to that point. Now I can come over here, pick this up and move it across, and we've essentially done the same thing. We've removed the start of that clip. Now that works exactly the same for the end of our clip. If we come over to the end, let's say that we want to remove the end. Let's just zoom in on this section. We can just come across to the end. We can grab that end and slide it back across to where we want it to show. And you can see it's snapping to my playback head here. If you want to turn this on or off at any time, the toggle for that is up here, snapping, or you can press the N key on the keyboard. So if we turn this off, then move this back across here, you can see that we've just got more granular control without it snapping to that playback head. Now let's say that we want to remove this chunk in the middle here. We can press B to access our blade tool. And wherever we click now, it's going to cut our timeline at that point. So we can just click, and we've now split our clip there. We could say click here, and we now have split off this middle clip. Now if we press A on the keyboard, or we come up here to the arrow, which is what we need to select the clips. If we then click on that clip, again, we can press Shift Delete, and that clip is removed and closed up the gap. So you can see there's a couple of different ways to do things. Now there's one other really powerful way to cut down a lot of footage really fast, and that's using Ripple Edit. And what Ripple Edit does is essentially cut and delete footage back to either the next clip or back to that playback head. So for example, let's just say that our video is going well here. We want all of it up to this point here, and we don't want the rest of this footage here, but we want the ending. Then all I need to do is press Ripple Edit right, which is the keyboard shortcut Command or Control, Shift, square bracket right, and that's going to remove the rest of that clip. And likewise, if we find that we want to remove this section here from where this playback head is back to the start of this clip where that cut is, we can do a Ripple Edit left. So Command or Control, Shift, and square bracket left to remove back to the left. So if we press that, you can see that that section is removed. So using this Ripple Edit left and right will allow you to go through and remove big chunks of footage and trim down a lot of footage to a small manageable amount really, really quickly. So the idea here now is to go through, use those tools and those methods to trim down your videos so that you've only got the actual video content left that you want to use in your final edit. All right, once that's done, the next step is to bring in any overlay or any B-roll footage into your project. So you can see here that we've got some extra clips here of the switch pod with a phone mounted on it. So we can just click on these clips and bring it down into our timeline here. And you can see that we're dropping it on the layer above our video. So if we're scrubbing through here now and our video is playing back, at this point, that clip is now shown. And just like every other clip, we can trim it down. We can adjust the start time, adjust the end time. We can split it in half just to get the section of the footage that we want. So let's say that we want it to finish about here. And in this case, you can see that we've got our video file and our audio for that as well. If we don't want that audio clip, we can either mute it by coming down here, and you can see there is this little thin line. This is your volume line. If we click on this and pull it down to minus 97.67 decibels, it's going to be silent. That's mute. So we now have no volume at that point. Or we can hold down Alt or Option and click on the clip, and it will only select that clip. You can see the top one's not selected, and we press delete or backspace, and we can remove just the audio piece of that clip. So let's say we want to bring down another one now. If we don't want to bring that entire clip down into the timeline, we can double click on it, and it's going to open up here in this preview area. We can actually select out the area of the clip that we want. So in this case here, where Caleb is putting down the switch pod, I think I didn't quite capture the shot, asked him to do it again. So let's grab the second one. Let's say that we want this clip to start about here. I can press I on the keyboard to mark an in point. Now we go across to where we want it to finish. Let's go just before he comes in to pick it up, and we press O for out. So we mark an in and out point. Now when we want to drag this down into our timeline, we're just going to bring down this section. So we've already pre-cut that clip down. Now you can also see when I move my mouse up here, we get to choose, do we want just the video piece or just the audio piece? So if you only want the video piece, you can just click on the clip here and bring that down, and we're only bringing down that section that we had marked out, but we're also only bringing down the video piece of it. If we wanted both of them, then we can click anywhere up here and drag that down, and we'll get the video and the audio. Now with these clips, just like all of the clips, we can pick them up, we can move them around. Same with our ones down the bottom here. If we find that we want to reorder some of these clips, we can pick them up, we can select multiple clips, we can move them around. If you are going to be moving them around, I would suggest that you're turning back on the snap feature so that they are going to snap back into position and not leave any gaps. But you want to go through and add in any of your B-roll or overlay footage. Once we've got that in, now is where I like to bring in any of the music tracks that you want to have in your video. So you've got 2 different music tracks up here. I'm going to grab one of these and drop it down into our timeline in the audio section, so down the bottom. And again, just like every other clip, we can pick them up, we can move them around, we could trim off the start of it if we'd like to, or trim off the end of it if it goes for too long. Now we are going to get to volume levels really soon in this process, but if this is too loud for you to continue editing and making minor tweaks and adjustments, then you might want to lower the volume here just for this audio clip. So again, if you click on that thin little line and pull it down, then you can make it quieter just so it fits and doesn't drive you crazy while you're editing. So at this point, with your B-roll in, with your main story in, and now with your audio in there as well, you might find that you're going through, you're playing back through, you're making minor tweaks and adjustments. You might move some of the clips around. You might even remove some footage in there that isn't a fit for the video as you're going. So this is an iterative process where you're constantly going through, you're playing, you're making minor adjustments, all to get the video looking the way you'd like. All right, next up, we're going to add in any titles or text into your video. So if you come up the top here to Effects Library, then you'll see this appear down the bottom here. You want to come down to Titles. And in here, there's lots of presets that you can use to customize up to create your titles. There's also some animated ones down here under Fusion Titles, or you also have the ability to purchase other templates from places like Video Hive for title animations and effects and things that you can use in your Davinci Resolve projects. So I'm just going to come up here. I'm going to grab just a basic text title, and I'm going to pick it up and I'm going to drop it on our timeline here towards the start. So if we just scrub across here now, we see we've got basic title there. So to edit this, we just want to double click on our title here and we open up our title tool. In here, we can type in whatever we'd like it to say. Let's go Justin Brown. We can change the fonts. So let's go with Oswald. Let's change it to a bold. We can also come down here and add things like a drop shadow, stroke. We can add a background on here as well. So let's select the title. We've got our Primal video blue there. Let's change the height and let's change the width and let's change the corner radius down so it's actually a square. We can remove the opacity, and then from there we can pick it up, we can move it around to wherever you want to have it in your video. Or if you want more granular control over where it is, then you can come back up the top here and you can make adjustments to the position here using these sliders or these numbers. So you want to go through now and add in any titles or text into your video, and once that's done, then we're going to look at adding in any transitions or effects. So again, for transitions or effects, you want to make sure that you are on that effects library so that we can see this panel down the bottom here. We want to then come over here to video transitions, and there's a lot in here to choose from. And this is one area that a lot of people can go overboard with some crazy transitions and effects and things that can make your videos look really cheap or really low quality. So I'd say use these sparingly and use them only when they are adding value to your video. But some of the most popular ones are the simplest ones, just like a cross dissolve or a fade, or even a dip to color where it goes to black or goes to white between the shots. So let's just take a look back over here at our title. If we play through this, title just appears, it'll go for as long as we want it here, and then it will just disappear. We can zoom in on that, grab this cross dissolve and drop it on the start of that clip. You can see it's going to let me drop it here at the start or at the end. So I'm going to put one on the start. Let's also put one on the end so that this title now is going to play through. You can see it's going to fade in, and then at the end, it's going to fade back out. Really simple. So let's say that we want to add a transition to some of our B-roll that appears. So instead of it just appearing on screen here, that is going to dip to a color, like flash up, like a white flash. So we want to grab this dip to color. Let's again drop this transition on. Now the default here for this is for it to go to black. So you can see it fades out to black, then comes back up. So we want to change that black to be white. So you want to make sure that you've selected that transition, and then up in the top here under transition we get to customize that up. So under color here we can choose white, and you can see now our transition, instead of going to black, it's going to white. Now that's pretty slow. We can come down here on our timeline and we can actually shorten that so it's more like a little camera flash. So it's pretty quick, and we can do the same for the other end of the clip there as well. So that's a good way that you can really easily add a little bit of polish into your videos without going overboard with some of the transitions. Now for pieces of the video where you have a hard cut, so you can see here I'm talking, I've got a cut here, and then it's going on to the next piece. So maybe I had a mistake in here, or I finished one section, moved on to the next. In this case, I wouldn't normally use a transition between it because the shot looks very much the same. So first off, I might tighten up this cut a little bit. And then what I would do, instead of just having it as a hard cut or a jump cut, I would zoom in on either the first clip or the second clip just so that it looked a little bit different. So we want to select one of the clips here, first or the second one. You want to come up the top here to video, and then down here under transform is where you want to zoom in on that clip. So we can come up here to where it says 1, and we want to zoom in just a little bit. And you can see that if we play this back now, playing the first clip, and there's a slight zoom in to the second one. Now, in order for this to really work well, you can see that was kind of jarring. If you're able to keep the eyes, if there's a person on screen, if you're able to keep their eyes in the same position or as close to being the same position, it's going to be far less jarring. So let's adjust the position of this second clip here so that the eyes are almost in the same position. So that's normally what we'll do instead of adding transitions between a hard cut. Just zoom in a little bit to break it up a bit for the viewer. So you're going to go through now, add in any transitions or effects into your video. Once that's done, we're going to adjust our audio levels. Now, the most important piece here is the spoken piece in your video, or the primary audio in your video. So we want to make sure that we're getting that volume set right first, and then from there we can look at adjusting the volumes on music or sound effects or anything like that. So first off, I'm going to come down here to this audio 2 layer where we have our music, and I'm just going to hit mute so that we're not going to hear this. This section isn't going to play back as we're playing back our video. The other thing I'm going to do is come up here to workspace and then down to show panel in workspace, and I'm going to choose mixer. And this is going to bring up our audio mixer here. Now, for all the advanced audio tools and all the advanced control, then you can jump across to the Fairlight area here, but this is also pretty advanced in here. So we're going to stick to the edit panel. And what we're going to do is we're going to come back to the start of our clip, and we are going to hit play. And we're going to just look at our audio here and check out the volume of it. So you can see that we're in the green, into the yellow, into the red a bit, but we're not hitting the top. If our audio is hitting the top, let me just raise this up now, then you can see that it is distorting, which means it's too loud. It's going to sound terrible. So you want to make sure that your audio isn't that loud. So this is where we're adjusting it so that your audio is down in the yellow, maybe just touching on the red a little bit, but definitely not getting anywhere near that 0 or the top of this area. So by using this little volume adjustment here, this is making an adjustment on this entire audio 1 track. So every audio clip that we have on this entire timeline, we're adjusting the overall volume. And this is going to be perfect if you're in the situation where we are here, where it's all recorded on the same camera, same volume level. It's not changing throughout. So we can just set our audio here once to where it's got to be, and we know that all our clips then are going to be right. So let's say that we wanted to make adjustments to this clip specifically. I've already shown you how we can come over here to this little white line across the top here, and we can either drag it up to make it louder. You can actually see on the waveforms that it's louder, or lower it down. Again, we're going to see it shrink. So this is one way that we can do it. You can see the volume number there. We've dropped it by 1.29 decibels. Or with this clip selected, we can come up the top here and we can make adjustments to this here as well. Now I'm going to hit this button here to reset that now back to 0. Now let's say that we just wanted this little section here of our clip to be louder or quieter. We could go back to our blade tool and we could make a cut in our timeline here, and then we could switch back to our arrow tool using A, and we could just increase or lower just that section of audio. So again, there's lots of different ways to do things. Or if I undo that again, another way that we could do it is using keyframes. So I'm going to zoom in on this section. It was this area here that we wanted to make louder. We're going to bring our playback head, the orange bar, back towards this section. And we're going to come up the top here with that clip selected. And we're going to add a volume under the volume area. We're going to hit this button here, which will add in a keyframe. You can see we've got a red dot there now. Let's come across a little bit further. Let's add in another one. Now let's come across to the end of it. So about here, add in another one. And then we want one more. You need 4 of them in here. So now what we can do is if we click in the midpoint here on this line, we can now adjust up and down just that section that we have marked out with those keyframes. And you can actually see what's happening. So we have our volume going through at this level, constant level, 100%. It's going to hit that keyframe, and then it's going to gradually lower until it gets to our next keyframe where we've told it that we want our volume at whatever this level here is, until it gets to the end of that keyframe, and then increase in volume back to where it was before. So we can really dial in specific areas of our audio just by using keyframes. So now that we've got the audio for our primary content piece, the voiceover or the spoken bit done, next up we're going to adjust the volume levels for our music or any additional sounds in there as well. So we're going to unmute this track so that when we play it back, we can hear it. And the idea here again is as we're playing this back, we again don't want to be up to the top of that red. So we could adjust here the audio across this entire audio track too by pulling this down and lowering down the music. And you also want to make sure that you can still hear the primary piece of content as well. So this is where there is no perfect volume. Each individual music track is going to be different, and it's also your personal preference as well as to where you're setting this. But really the key here is if you've got music in the background, make sure that it's not overpowering the content piece and that it's still easy for your viewers to hear the piece that they need to hear. So usually for us with our YouTube videos, we're normally having this down around -25 to maybe -35, depending on the music track. And again, you can go through and you can use those keyframes or add cuts into this section to adjust the volumes of specific pieces in your music tracks as well. Now that your audio levels are set, we're now going to look at color grading or color correcting your video. So I'm going to go back to the start, to the first clip, and we are going to jump across to this color area. Now in here, this is an absolute beast of an area. This is what Davinci Resolve is really known for, color grading, professional grade color grading. We're not going to dive into this in great detail. I'm going to show you the main tools that you need to focus on, but this could literally be a whole course just on its own. So I definitely don't want you to be overwhelmed in here. The first thing I like to do is make sure that I am seeing the scopes here. So again, this is the visual representation of what's going on in our shot. Now we have our first clip selected here. So this is the one that we're going to be tweaking and adjusting first. You can see that if I click on some of these other ones, that we're actually changing and adjusting those clips. So let's just do the first one first. Let's do our primary footage, and then whatever adjustments we make, we can apply to all the rest of the clips from that same camera. And then afterwards, we're going to go back through and you can make adjustments to the rest of your clips too. Okay, so the first thing you want to understand here is that this bar along the bottom here, 0, that is your absolute black level. Anything that drops below that means that you're going to be losing data or information, or it's too black in your videos. Likewise, across the top here, on this top line, anything that is going outside or is touching this top line, it means that it's overexposed or we're losing that data in our video. So the first thing I want to do is just make sure that we are within the boundaries of these lines. So first off, I'm going to come across here to lift, and I'm going to adjust this slider along the bottom here. And you can see that as I move this, I'm able to pull this down or lift it up, but I want to make sure that where I'm setting it is so that it really isn't touching the bottom. So somewhere around there. Then I'm going to come across to gain, and it's going to do the same thing, but on the top of it. So I'm going to bring down the highlights. You can see that it is darkening our shot down at this point, but we're also not losing any or much of that data. So let's just say around here. And then from there, I'm going to come across to the gamma one here, the midtones, and I'm going to adjust this one. So you can see we're able to now brighten the shot overall or darken it off, but we're not hitting those max limits. Now down the bottom here, you've then got your saturation adjustment. So if we click on this and slide it, you can see that we're able to boost the colors in there. Or if we go back the other way, it's going to make it black and white. And if you want to make minor adjustments to the actual colors on each of these areas, the dark areas of your shot, the light areas of your shot, or the midtones, then inside of these color wheels, you can actually come and grab this little circle in the middle. And let's say we want to adjust the colors for the midtones. We can come and grab this and just move it towards the color that you want to add more of. So you see if I want to add more blue, I'm going to pull this down towards the blue and it adds more blue. Likewise, back towards the orange or the yellow, we're able to make adjustments like this as well. Now, obviously this is barely scratching the surface of what you can do in here, but as a beginner tutorial, these are the things that you can adjust to make your shot look the way that you'd like. Now, once you're happy with that and you want to apply it to all of the other clips as well, we can right click on this preview here and choose grab still. And you'll see we've got a still that shows up on here. Once we've got that created, we can select the clip that we want it to apply to, and we can come up here, right click on it and choose apply grade, and that's going to apply it to this next clip as well. Now, the other way that we can do it, if we just want to copy and paste, we can come over here to our node, which has all of those settings and everything applied. We can select select that, we can press Command C or Control C to copy that. We can then go to the clips that we want to paste it on and then use the keyboard shortcuts for paste. So Command V or Control V, and we're able to paste that onto those remaining clips. And you can even select multiples and paste them all at once. So from here, you want to go through and color grade or color correct your clips, including any of your B-roll or overlay footage as well. And once you're done with that, the next step is to export your video. So you want to come down here to the Deliver workspace, and then we have all of our export settings that show up on the side here. Now you do have built-in presets here for YouTube. If we hit this little drop down here for it, we can choose a 720p YouTube video, 1080p, or 4K 2160p. So our video here was 1080, so we're going to leave this here as 1080. We can give it a name. We can make any adjustments we need to here, but these are the right settings for YouTube based on our project that we had created. Now, if you select this box, then you can set it so it will automatically upload to YouTube as well after it's done exporting. For me personally, I'd rather just have the file saved out on my computer that I can check, and I'll upload it myself manually. Now, the trick here then to get this saving out is you need to click down here on Add to Render Queue, and that's going to pop up and ask us where we want to save it. So let's just save it in the Movies folder. Let's go Save, and that's going to show up here in the Render Queue. Now, it's not actually saving out yet, and it won't save until we hit this Render All button. So the idea here is that you can actually go through and you can queue up multiple renders, and then when you're good to go to save them all out, you can hit Render All, and that will start saving them out. So what we need to do now is hit this Render All button, and we can see our rendering progress here, and this is actually going really quick. Now, once that's done, I would strongly recommend that you are playing back your video on your computer, but also ideally on a phone or an iPad or some sort of device so that you can make sure that it looks good and sounds the way that you want it before you're releasing it on YouTube. So that is a complete end-to-end walkthrough in DaVinci Resolve for beginners. Now make sure that you are grabbing your free copy of the Primal Video Method, your step-by-step process to now edit your videos down with minimal wasted time and rework. There is a link on screen and below in the description for you to download that, and I will see you in the next video.